Ajijic opens today? Jerry Brown here with Jerry Brown Travels.
Lori here.
Well, Lori, what are we going to be doing today?
Well, we come to the town today to check it out if the restaurant is open or not.
Yeah, we heard that restaurants and shops were going to be open today. And so, we decided to come in and see what it looks like so we can give you the first-hand information of what it looks like. And what I've done today, deliberately, I've chosen this shirt here with John Lennon and Imagine what's happening now with this virus and everything else going on. So I figured this shirt was appropriate. So, okay, Lori, let's head into town and let's see what it looks like.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, so what seems to be happening is that as I'm looking, and we're going to walk into the plaza here, I don't see very many people here. Again, it's going to be a slow process of coming back because like us, we are not planning on going into any restaurants for a while because we're not sure how other people have been treating themselves and how serious they have been treating this virus with their hygiene and trying to keep everything sanitized. So today we're going to just walk into here. Okay, the first stop that we've come to one of the restaurants that's open here. This is in the main plaza of Ajijic. And where are we at, Lori?
We're at the Plaza Ajijic at the Hardin restaurant.
Hardin's restaurant. Now, typically right here, as we look around, they have it set up for 4 people to sit at a table. And so people are not rushing here, on this first opening day to come out. A lot of times what can happen, see around this table right here, we can get maybe double the amount of chairs. We can get 8 people, maybe even 10 people just sitting shoulder to shoulder. But now they're not going to allow that to happen. They're definitely doing social distancing. As you can see here, as we make our turn, there's one gentleman here having a little dinner. And I bet he feels great to be able to get out and walk around. Now let's look at it before the coronavirus came. Much difference.
Yeah, they put one table like 4 people. They're not like before, like, you can sit 6 people or 10 people.
Yeah, and also what we have heard is that they're going to give it a little more time constraint. So in other words, you go in and you order your meal and they'll let you, that usually takes a little while, but they're going to try to restrict after you're finished with your meal, not to linger maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes, maybe at the most a half an hour. Typically here in Mexico, you can linger and hang around for, 20, 30 minutes and stuff like that. Now this is what Hardin's restaurant looks like now. And I want to show you the contrast between now and what it used to be like. So I think it's really interesting. You'll get an idea what it feels like down here. What a contrast. This was made 1 year ago when everything was that was the normal then. And today we see what it looks like. So it's quite a contrast. This period of time I call the Shangri-La period, where we had a time of the growth of the community and all the people participating and all the festivities. And now with the coronavirus, it is shut down and we don't have that anymore. I'm going to say it's going to take about 2 years to get back to half of this amount of entertainment that we'll have here in this part of Mexico. Very slow process. I want to show you over here. Right over here across the way is Black and White Coffee, and there again they have a few tables set out, and typically it'll be twice as many tables as what they're allowing today. And there isn't any other restaurants or things that are open here.
Well, in this plaza, Ajijic Plaza, two restaurants was open, and the restaurant behind me here is still closed, and then some other store here, all the store here is still closed, so it's not really open yet.
I got my mask. You can see this is the main street in the village Ajijic. This is Cologne, and usually there's cars all along here and that, and you can see that it's wide open. It's not that crowded. Well, as you see in the walking through the village there, some of the restaurants are open and some of them aren't. It's going to take a while. A lot of people hope that it's going to take instantaneously, but you know, looking at the news and seeing what's happening outside of Mexico, like in the United States, and seeing some of the lineups of where they're distributing food at food banks, either by individual on their feet, or they're lined up in their car for miles to get food. That, in combination with so many people are out of work. Do you know that this is the first time that the United States ever has taken this drastic step of closing down industry, closing down all jobs of people of making a living? So what is going to happen with that, looking at what's going to happen down here, or how it's going to affect things down here in Mexico? People are not going to have that extra money to spend for vacations, or possibly the idea of moving down and maybe buying a house here, because they're not going to have that income. As an example, my daughter, she has her own beauty salon, and she has 4 employees, and they're closed down. She's actually had to take out a loan to get enough money to provide for her own household living. And another thing, they usually come down to Cabo San Lucas, Mexico, twice a year. They stay in an inclusive resort. They're not going to do that this year or for a whole year. My son, who does a lot of traveling in his business, he can't be doing that traveling. So how it's going to affect down here is that, remember, this area is most popular for people that are retired. They're over 60 years old. For somebody to get on an airplane and take that chance, that's going to really be quite a decision you're going to have to make to see if you want to take that chance. Whereas if you were in your 30s or that, you are more apt to be able to travel. But in the 60s, that is going to be a challenge for you. So that's some of the things that I'm looking at, how it's going to affect this area of Mexico in the sense of extra money. People have their own businesses, they're not making any money on it. In fact, they're losing money. They haven't been able to put money away. And if they have, they're using that money to pay for their bills, to provide for their family food and that. They're not planning on coming places like Mexico, maybe even Disneyland. Families probably aren't going to be able to afford that. What about Las Vegas? How is that going to open up? Look around your neighborhood and see how things are opening up. Okay, so this is a small village down here, so it's going to be a whole different timeline of things getting back. I know the merchants want it to come back right away because they're all hurting down here. But in talking to some of the restaurant owners, they're more realistic. They're saying it's going to probably take 6 months to a year before things get back. It still will never be back to a new normal, because the way I see it, it's probably going to be about 30% off from other years. So that's the new reality that's happening here. Now remember, don't take my advice. Don't listen to me only. Check out the news sources like CDC, where you can get first-hand information. Always verify somebody's information, mine or anybody else's.
What I like at this street here in Cologne here is the main street of Ajijic. So what I like it is a lot of gift shop around here, and jewelry shop and clothes shop. So I like to come here and shop at the jewelry shop like that. So I very enjoy it. But now everything was closing.
Here, let's take you into a pretty famous restaurant here.
Oh, here, I'm going to show you this picture here. Look at this. This picture is a Peacock restaurant. So it was beautiful.
Yeah, Peacock Garden Restaurant. Peacock Garden Restaurant. So let's walk in and see what it looks like and see if there's got any business going.
Okay. Now get more people come in. So we just want to let you know this restaurant was open.
It'll take a while for things to come back so people will feel safe and they'll want to come out. The thing is that because all of us have been quarantining ourselves, we've come up with a routine in our houses that's very comfortable. And so to come out, I think it's going to be a very slow process as the months and months come along here. I don't think it's going to happen instantly.
Look, the Marathon still closing.
Oh, yeah.
We still cannot go walk on the boardwalk there. So this is the first stop, and you go to the other one is the last stop. You can't go in.
Oh, okay.